You're about to throw $25 billion into a Christmas dumpster just to buy hollow luxury, while 110 million barrels of absolute trash whiskey are being pumped down your gullible throats in 2025. You're still proud of a palate that's being led by a marketing leash. I'm ranking 11 whiskey brands from literal drain cleaner to liquid gold. Don't cry when your holy grail bottle gets tossed in the trash where it belongs. Deal with it. 11. Woodford Reserve. If you think that fancy perfume-style bottle is a guarantee of quality, congratulations. You are the biggest sucker for the Brown-Forman conglomerate in 2025. Woodford Reserve isn't a whiskey. It's a multi-million-dollar psychological operation. Look at the hard data. Their sales spiked 20% this year, despite the fact that the liquid coming out of Woodford County is becoming more industrialized by the second. It's the trust fund brat of bourbon, someone who never broke a sweat but wears the most expensive tuxedo at the Kentucky Derby just to look important. When you pour this on Christmas Eve, you're treating yourself to a chemical mess of artificial oak and a sharp, metallic finish that clings to your throat like a bad debt you can't pay off. The aroma isn't aged wood, it's burnt popcorn mixed with hollow vanity. At 90.4 proof, it has zero structure. It's a whiskey for the nouveau riche who believe a $50 price tag buys them a personality. In every 2025 blind taste test, this stuff loses to unlabeled moonshine. It's dead last because it represents everything rotten in this industry, using marketing to murder the art of distillation. A total disaster hiding behind a legacy that no longer exists. 10. Jameson Irish Whiskey. Welcome to the alcohol-flavored water of the whiskey world. Jameson is the official drink of people who actually hate the taste of spirits but want to look like a regular at the pub. It's that friendly neighbor who talks for 3 hours but says absolutely nothing. You see it everywhere, from frat parties to St. Paddy's Day, simply because it's as cheap and easy to swallow as tap water. Triple distilled? Don't let those marketing suits lie to you. That's just a fancy way of saying they stripped every ounce of soul and character out of the barley. In 2025, the Middleton Distillery is pumping out over 40 million cases a year, and I swear the liquid tastes like gasoline cut with sugar water. When you put your nose in the glass, you get wet grain and a thin ethanol burn that vanishes faster than your dignity after 4 shots. It is watery, bland, and the finish is as abrupt as a bad breakup. It sits at number 10 because it's cowardly. It doesn't ask you to understand it. It just wants you to get drunk enough to forget you're drinking industrial sludge. If you order a Jameson neat on Christmas, I'm assuming your taste buds died a decade ago. 9. Seagram 7 Crown. Digging through the ashes of history, we find Seagram's 7 Crown, a 1930s relic that is barely gasping for air in the modern era. Let me be clear, this is not whiskey. This is a blended grain spirit. By 2025 standards, it's 75% neutral grain alcohol. You are literally drinking vodka that's been spray tanned to look like bourbon. It's like a bitter old man who won't stop talking about the good old days while smelling like a basement fire. Seagram 7 exists for one reason, to be drowned in 7-Up until you can no longer taste your own regrets. The flavor? Imagine chewing on a piece of cheap, flavorless gum while standing next to a bottle of bleach. It represents the era of volume over value, a dark stain on American distilling history. With sales dropping 15% every year, it only stays on the shelf because of the blind nostalgia of people who stopped trying new things in 1974. It's at number 9 because at least it doesn't pretend to be prestige like Woodford. It knows it's trash, and it owns it. 8. Dewar's White Label. If boredom could be bottled and sold, it would be called Dewar's White Label. This is the scotch you find at airport lounges or depressing corporate mixes where your career goes to die. Dewar's is the background music of the whiskey world, entirely unnoticeable. With over 40 different whiskeys blended into this mess, they have achieved the impossible, a liquid that has no defining characteristics whatsoever. The fake honey aroma and dry, dusty heather notes glide over the palate like a lukewarm breeze, leaving a finish as empty as a politician's promise. In 2025, while the world is going crazy for complex peat and sherry casks, Dewar stays loyal to a recipe designed for people who are terrified of flavor. It's the choice of someone who wants to drink scotch to feel like a man of the world, but can't handle a single drop of real smoke. It's number 8 because it's harmless, but it's also entirely pointless. 7. Johnnie Walker Red Label. Look at that man striding on the label. He's leading millions of people straight into a pit of mediocrity. Red Label is the ultimate proof that if you spend enough on billboards, you can sell liquid sandpaper to the entire planet. This is the highest-selling scotch on earth in 2025, but try drinking it neat and your throat will feel like it just got a massage from a power sander. It is brutally harsh, tasting of cheap black pepper and artificial smoke that attacks your senses like a street thug. It wasn't made to be enjoyed. It was made to be executed in a glass of soda. The Keep Walking slogan is actually a warning. Keep walking past this bottle until you find something with an actual age statement. The quality is cratered as Diego optimizes profits by cutting corners on every drop. It's at number 7 only because of its massive cultural footprint, a symbol of fake rebellion wrapped in a 24-degree slanted lie. 6. Jim Beam White Label. Jim Beam is the blue-collar heartbeat of Kentucky, but that heart is starting to beat with a very monotonous rhythm. This is cheap, honest, and entirely predictable bourbon. With a massive corn content, it delivers a punch of peanut shells and industrial vanilla. It doesn't try to be fancy, and that's the only reason it's not at the bottom of this list. In 2025, the Claremont Distillery is still pumping out millions of barrels to fuel sports bars and backyard cookouts. It is old reliable, but don't confuse loyalty with high quality. The taste ends faster than a touchdown celebration, leaving a faint, shallow hint of toasted oak. It stands at number 6 because it knows its place, a budget bottle for the masses. It doesn't lie to you with luxury buzzwords. It's just a consistent way to get a buzz for under $20 on a lonely Christmas night. Stop right there. If I just insulted your go-to bottle or exposed your questionable taste, hit like and subscribe just so you have the energy to keep fighting me in the comments. Get ready, because we are moving into the real monsters, the bottles that actually have a soul. 5. Jack Daniel's Old No. 7. Jack Daniel's isn't just whiskey, it's a religion. From Frank Sinatra, who was buried with a bottle, to every leather-clad rock star in history, this black label is a badge of defiance. Why is it at number 5? Because at least it has an ego you can't mistake for anything else. The Lincoln County process of dripping the spirit through 10 feet of sugar maple charcoal gives it that signature banana bread and soot flavor. It's sweet, it's sugary, and it's unapologetically Tennessee. In 2025, no matter how many craft distilleries pop up, Jack remains the king of the mountain with billion-dollar revenues. It doesn't need a critic's approval. It has the loyalty of every rebel who wants their drink to come with a side of attitude. It tastes like a long night in Nashville. Loud, rowdy, and a bit too much. It's here because it's authentic to its roots, a liquid soul in a forest of corporate ghosts. 4. Bulleit Bourbon. If you want something that actually hits back, reach for Bulleit. The bottle looks like it was stolen from a 19th century frontier apothecary, and the liquid inside is just as sharp. With a high rye content that pushes the limits of the law, you get dried orange peel, black pepper, and the punch of heat that feels like a leather-clad fist to the jaw.
Tom Bulleit revived his great-great-grandfather's recipe in 1987 and turned it into the gold standard for modern cocktails. In 2025, it's still the top pick for bartenders because it refuses to be drowned out by mixers. It takes number 4 because of its bravery. This is a bourbon for people who don't want smoothness. They want character.
It's a sharp, stinging reminder of what American whiskey used to be. 3. Crown Royal. Ignore the snobs who look down on Canadian whiskey. Crown Royal is a masterpiece of the blender's art. Born in 1939 as a gift for King George VI, it carries true royal DNA. Don't just look at the purple velvet bag that every college kid uses to hold their spare change. Look at the 50 different whiskeys harmonizing inside the bottle. It is as smooth as silk, offering flavors of butterscotch, vanilla, and creamy oak that feel like a luxury dessert. In 2025, Crown Royal remains the symbol of middle-class prestige, a bottle you can proudly pour on Christmas night without offending a single soul. It's number 3 because of the hidden complexity beneath the flashy marketing, a reminder that blended whiskey can reach the summit if it's made with true devotion. 2. Glenfiddich 12. While the rest of the whiskey world is being eaten alive by global conglomerates, the Grant family has kept Glenfiddich independent since 1887. That is a real act of rebellion. Glenfiddich 12 is the gateway drug for anyone who wants to enter the world of single malts. It is elegant, sophisticated, and tastes like orchard fruits, fresh pears, and gentle oak. This isn't a scotch for people who want to show off their bank accounts. It's for people who appreciate time and precision. In 2025, even with massive global demand, they've kept the quality so consistent it's almost scary. It takes the number 2 spot because it is the benchmark, the lighthouse that every other single malt looks to when they're lost at sea. It's class that doesn't need to scream to be heard. 1. Maker's Mark. Finally, the king of Christmas is here. Maker's Mark isn't just a bottle, it's a family legacy preserved with a heartbeat. That hand-dipped red wax is a promise of quality that no machine can ever replicate. Bill Samuel Sr. literally burned his family's 170-year-old harsh recipe in 1953 to start over with something better. By using soft red winter wheat instead of rye, he created the gentle giant of Kentucky. The result? A liquid that is as warm and comforting as a hug in the middle of a freezing Christmas night. Caramel, baking spices, and melted butter blend perfectly with zero harshness. In 2025, while limited edition bottles are being scalped for thousands of dollars, Maker's Mark stands tall as the gold standard of accessible excellence. It's number 1 because it's honest, it's handmade, and it reminds us that real whiskey is about connecting people, not padding a corporate balance sheet. This is the crown jewel of American bourbon. There it is. Maker's Mark takes the crown because it's the only one that kept its soul in a world of marketing lies. I've insulted your Woodford. I've trashed your Jameson. Now it's your turn. Where did I go wrong? Which bottle got robbed in this brutally honest ranking? Get in the comments and let me have it. I'll be waiting there to finish the fight. Don't forget to hit like if you found this bitter but true. If you think American whiskey's a mess, just wait until I dismantle the lies of the vodka industry in the next video. Subscribe now so you don't miss the massacre. Drink better, stop following the herd, and I'll see you at the next pour. Have a Christmas with fewer scams.